I had such a dream last night. I was floating above the trees, with my lips connected to those of a beautiful figure.
Whose lips? Were they my lips?
First of all, let me congratulate you with your film choices. In just the last 2 years, you did The Assassination of Jesse James, Lars and the Real Girl, Away We Go, and now Bright Star. I mean, great choices there.
Well, I mean, choices is an interesting word because, you know, I mean, I'm just sort of trying out for them as anyone else would. But yeah, I mean, I do want to make sure that I'm working with filmmakers I feel like I can learn something from.
How was it working with the great Jane Campion?
The ride has been so surreal for me that I think whatever lessons I learned are probably going to be, you know, revealed to me in the next few years. You know, something this big, you don't sort of, you know, you're still kind of in it, and I feel like what you get from it are the kind of things that are only visible after a bit of time away.
Now, what attracted you to Bright Star?
Well, Jane herself, you know, the piano was a really huge influence on me, and it was sort of the first film that made me really look at film as art, and you know, the chance to work with her was sort of once in a lifetime, and I would have done anything that she wanted to do. But it just so happened that this character was one that I really related to.
Right.
Shall I say it? I have failed John Keats. I failed John Keats. I failed John Keats. I failed him. I failed him.
He is sort of the great friend and working partner of John Keats. And you know, someone who very much wanted to be, I think, what John Keats became, but I think in terms of raw talent maybe fell a little short.
How did you prepare for the film?
They wanted him, you know, he's Scottish, and they wanted him, you know, someone who had been Scottish but living in Britain for the last few years, and so that meant that in LA, before I went to England, I worked with an accent coach, and then in England I worked with an accent coach there as well, who was on set for all of us, Abbie, Carrie Fox, and I.
One scene that I love the most is the one with your confrontation with John Keats about Fanny, where Keats said the greatest line in the film, "There is a holiness to the heart's affection."
It was really, you know, we did that somewhat early on, and you know, after that day, I kind of, you know, you have moments of understanding what you're doing very slowly, kind of in stages. You get an idea of, you kind of get comfortable with these decisions, acting like someone, you know, whom you are not. And at the end of that day, I remember feeling a lot more comfortable understanding the dynamic between Fanny and Brawne and John.
It is a game. It is a game to her. She collects it. There is a holiness to the heart's affections. No, nothing of that.
I'm also from NBC in Palm Springs, where we have Parks and Recreation as one of our Thursday night comedy night done right shows. Now, what can we expect this coming season? And your character, Mark Brendanowicz.
I don't know. I think you know, I'm sort of waiting to see what they come up with, just as long as, you know, as well as everyone else. It's been really interesting to see, you know, the characters start to develop, and they're bringing in lots of new characters, and it's sort of exciting to see a show kind of take its first few steps out into the world.
Right. Thank you so much again, and congratulations on the movie.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Based on the true story of a brilliant poet and the bright star who was his shining light.
I almost wish we were butterflies and lived but 3 summer days. 3 such days with you I could fill with more delight than 50 common years could ever contain.